Alright guys, I know what you've been wanting. Based on all the views on the last few videos I put out, this one gets the most. So, as you can tell, it's a little colder than it used to be the last time I made a video on this car. Last time I was in shorts and a t-shirt, now I'm all bundled up in a different house. I've been one, working a lot on the house, but two, also working on Dirk's Corvette, so I haven't had a chance to get to start on this. But I figure, hey, let's put an hour into this every day, and that'll at least give you guys some content to watch and get some progress moving. So what I've done is I've built a temporary shelter for the Cadillac, since that's kind of got to get pushed out in order to work on this. Let me show you guys what I've done to it. There's the caddy next to the garage. So you might think, oh, this $90 shelter from Amazon probably won't stand up to any kind of storm, but what I've done that you can't see is that these legs are attached to 2-foot T-posts, which are halfway in the ground, and then attached to those T-posts by metal tapping screws. All 6 legs are like that, plus I have reinforced all the joints with metal tapping screws, and the canvas, instead of being attached with bungees, is attached with zip ties. So if I go up to one of these poles and pull up as hard as I can't get it to move out of the ground. So I'm hoping this one will be okay. It's better than just having the Cadillac sit outside. That's what I don't want to happen. But don't worry guys, work on the Caddy will be coming soon. I plan on somehow finding a parts car in order to get all the main things done in it. I did drive it around today. It drove great. It needs the brakes looked at, the suspension looked at, stuff like that. But we'll get to that later. But first, what we got to do is we got to yank this turd out of the backyard and then push it into the garage. So there it is. It takes up a whole lot less room than the Cadillac does. What I wanted was to be able to get both doors open. So, and we have done that, so now work can start on this. Number one thing, besides changing the oil, is going to be get a new battery. I did get a new battery back in, I don't know, whenever I bought the car, September, October, don't remember. But it's been in the car the whole time, so basically what I'm doing is I'm charging it. Make sure it's got a good charge before I put it in the car. There's my dog making all kinds of noise in my video. Hey, come here. Come here, Noodle. That's Noodle. Ooh. Noodle the pit bull, and then you guys know Chopstick. So, Noodle and Chopstick. Yeah. There's the dummies. Dummy. Anyway. Well, since I got the battery charging and the car is now up on jack stands, let's go ahead and change the oil and see what it looks like. I'm curious to know what oil after 10 years looks like in a car. Alright, so here we are underneath the car. Pretty much what I expected. Huge leaks. Not huge leaks, but 40 years of small leaks turns into this. So, I've already broken loose the oil filter with this nifty wrench that I got. It's awesome. And then the drain plug. So I'm going to try to do this without trying not to get oil all over me and all over the garage. Sometimes it doesn't seem to work like that. Get you guys some light. Here, hang this on something. There we go. Alright. I guess we can do so what I don't want to see is water. So far that just looks like old nasty oil, which is good. Alright, next. Alright. You got oil. And if there's water, it's going to come out at the end. The dogs wanted to help with the oil change today. I told them to go play. That's some thick, thick oil. I'll tell you what, look at that. I don't know if you can see that. But I'm going to sit here and let this drain overnight. That's probably what I'll do. We have finished the oil change. So there's the old oil draining back into the bucket so it can get recycled. There's the old oil filter. So there were no metal or no water in that, so we're good. So next is going to be the battery. I'm sorry if this video is kind of dark. I have to close the garage because it's like 25 degrees outside, but gotta keep on working. So we have a battery right here. It is charged, and I connected the cables to it, and I still don't have any power in the car. So what I'm thinking is the problem is these cable connections are really gross and they're not allowing anything to pass. A second thing might be the ground for the battery is bad. So we need to investigate that a little bit further. So I'm first going to go into the car and check the positive cable at the starter and see what I'm getting there. Alright, here's a little clip. Look how nice the paint is on the oil pan once all the grease is gone. Anyway, there's the new oil filter, so that's ready to go. You can see there's the starter with that battery cable attached to it. So if we have power here, then I'm going to assume it's probably bad ground. So we'll just have to see. Well, according to this, we have no power to the starter, which means the rest of the car doesn't get power either. I'm going to go ahead and clean up all four connections to the battery cables. So there's one that goes to the starter, the ground goes to the frame, and then obviously the other two hit the battery. I'm going to clean all those up and see what we get. You guys have already seen the starter connection, but this is the frame connection. So this is basically where the battery grounds to the car. And with a Corvette, obviously, the frame is the most obvious choice. And this car, since it's been outside for so long, the frame isn't rusty, but it's just dirty. And I have a feeling that could be a large culprit of why nothing's connecting. So I'm going to go ahead and clean it. First, I'm going to take a screwdriver and a razor blade and clean around it, and then I'm going to disconnect it, clean it up as best I can. I'll probably wire wheel the frame and then put it all back together and maybe shoot just a little bit of paint on it so that it's taken care of and nobody will ever have to do this again. I love Texas cars. Take a look at that. Under that grease and dirt, I mean, that's as solid can get. So I've cleaned up both sides of it and put it back together and see if that does anything. Getting a closer look at these, I'm believing these might be the issue. There's a lot of corrosion stuck inside of there. So I got one to break free, but this one didn't. So I'm going to have to make new ends, but that's okay. I've done it before. I'm going to clean these up really nice and put them on. I'm going to try to avoid buying new ones, but we'll just have to see. So after cleaning all the grounds for the battery, after cleaning the body ground and fixing the power wire that runs from the starter solenoid to here, I finally found the issue. So as you can see right now, as you can see this, the headlights are on, but if I wiggle this wire, I get to do it, they turn off. On, off, on, off. And so there's this green wire right here. Got some light. Alright, so one's kind of frayed and crappy looking, but the one that seems to be making the issues is this one right here. With that fusible line fixed, we can finally figure out what works and what doesn't. This is like one of my favorite parts to bring an old car back to life, is checking out, putting a battery in. Usually it's easier than what we just did, and seeing what works. So we got all three of those lights working there. All three of those lights working there. We got rear marker lights. That's exciting. Got tail lights. Another rear marker light. We don't have interior lights, but that could be a fuse. We have gauge lights. I can tell because you can kind of see it right there. That's lit up. Those are all lit up. Of course, the clock's not working. All the gauges are at 0. That's good. Now let's try the horn. I got this to work. There we go. Got the horn. That's good. Alright. Brake light's on because there's no brake fluid in the master cylinder. We have, I can hear the fan running. Not working though. Alright. Oh, it really wants to go. It needs help. Let's try this one. These craps haven't been down in so long. I'm amazed. Let's see. Can't really do turn signals. We could try. I think that needs a new flasher. Let's see. So this is really the first time this thing has blinked in 10 years. Let's see what this one does. Okay, I think we got a bulb out in the back corner because that marker's not blinking. Actually, I don't know if it's supposed to. Okay, now we got the other side to blink. Okay. Looks like we need a bulb in the back. Got two in the front that are good. Let's see if we can get the brights to work. I'm not sure where the switch is on this one. I don't think it's on the floor anymore. I think it's actually on this, sadly. Yeah, we won't worry about it. But hey, we have power. That's good. It has come time to drain the gas, so I've put a little slit in the fuel line. You can see it, it's right there. I'm about to pull it off, and I got a couple pans ready to drain the gas. This is actually the easiest place to drain the gas from. I'll probably eventually put a new fuel pump on it just because sitting for 10 years is never good. So let's see what happens. That's it. There we go. Alright, let's try not to make a mess all over my garage. That's it. That's disappointing. Well, that was kind of a fail. That's all the gas I got out of it. So I'm going to put that back, and I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. Well, we got to wrap up this video sometime. So the gas tank still needs cleaned out. I'm going to I have an electric fuel pump around here somewhere. I got to find it, clean it out. I think the fuel pump is no good. It's not sucking anything from the gas tank. So with that being said, I still want to see this thing run. So I've got some starting fluid. I'm going to spray in the carburetor. Even if it runs just a tiny little bit, that'll be one step closer. Do you guys see that? It ran. I was incorrect about one thing though. It looks like the fuel pump actually does work because it dumped all sorts of gas all over the engine. So, yep. Maybe that is a good fuel pump. So we'll have to replace the lines that I cut, and we should get this sucker to run very, very soon.